Hi, I'm Melissa from With Love Melissa, and today we are doing this cute little macrame bracelet with an adjustable knot. So the supplies that we're gonna need is 3 pieces of string. This is just like regular cotton string. You can also use hemp or twine or jute or any sort of thing like that for this bracelet. But so you're gonna need a 5-foot piece, a 2-foot piece, and a 1.5-foot piece. And then you're also gonna need beads. 8 to 10 millimeter is best. This is 10 millimeter. You're gonna need clear nail polish to seal the knots when we get up to that, and then tape, and maybe scissors if you cut the string. So I'm gonna put my beads, my 1.5-foot string, my nail polish all to the side, and then the 2-foot string I'm just gonna do let's say like 5 inches or so. Leave that at the end, and then you're just gonna make a regular knot. Like that. And then you're gonna take your tape and you're gonna tape it right at the knot. The knot is right here. So we've got our string right here, and then we're gonna take our 5-foot string, make sure that it is right in half, so the halfway mark is right here, and I'm gonna put that under the string I have taped down, like this. Okay, let's get closer. So we are essentially doing a square knot around this, but usually square knots are around 2 strings. This is going to be around 1 string. So we're going to start by putting the left string over. We take our right string, put it over, hold this up, and then go under and through that loop. And then I'm going to get it back up here since it went down. And I'm holding on to keep the string tight with my thumb and making it tight. So that's half of a square knot. Now to finish the square knot, we're going to take the right string and put it over. Put it over, put the left string over like that. Hold this up and go through. Like that, and then hold and pull tight. So see, we've got 1 square knot. So we're gonna make 3 square knots, and that'll be the first end of our bracelet. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make 2 more. That's the first half. And then the second half, so that's 2 square knots. I usually just bunch up the sides of the string like that because it's easier since they're so long. There we go, there's 3 square knots. So now I've got my beads out. I usually do about 10 for my bracelet. You can measure it as you go around your wrist. But now I'm just going to string all these beads on here, just to get ready for when I need them. Okay, so I've got all my beads on my string. Now I'm going to put my first bead up. And to secure the bead to the bracelet, you just have to do the first half of the square knot. So start on the left and put that string over, take your right string and put it over the left string, and then put the right string behind and through the loop. And then just pull it tight around the bead, and now that bead is in the bracelet. So then you just have to finish the knot. So now I'm going to start on the right side. There we go. So now I'm just gonna do 2 more square knots. Right now I've got 2. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And then I'm gonna put another bead up and do the same exact thing. So that's all this bracelet is doing square knots and adding the beads to it. So you can do this, like I said, with any material you want, really, like any type of string. If you did this with paracord, you just have to seal it differently. You would have to burn the edges instead of using the nail polish as the seal. You can use, see, like these beads look a little bit big with this. I think the 8mm beads look better, but I don't have any today, so I'm using these. But you can use different color beads, you can use different color string. The sky is the limit, but I really like this design. You can, if you want to, less knots in between the beads. Okay, so I'm actually going to stick to just the 7 beads. I'm going to take the rest of these off because it seems like I measured my wrist and I like the way that it looks with this amount. I think it would be way too big with the rest. So all I did was I put on this last bead and I did 1 single knot. So I did the left and then I did the right, and that's where we're at right now. So now I'm going to do the same thing as if I were getting ready for our next bead. I'm just going to do 2 more square knots. So that was the first one. And the second one. And now to finish it off, I am going to put a knot in the longer string, kind of to match, you know, the other end. So I'm gonna put a knot there. Perfect. Gonna take my tape off. So this is it. We've got 3 square knots on the end, we've got 3 in between, and then we've got the beads beaded, knotted in, whatever. So now I want to cut these 2 sides, and this is why we're gonna need the nail polish, because we're gonna cut it really close and then we're gonna put nail polish over it for it to seal so it doesn't get loose. So now I'm just going to cut this side. Make sure you're not cutting, you know, the rest of the knot though, just cut this string. Okay. Okay. Now we still have the long string intact. I'm going to cut it to be the same length as my other string. There we go. So now, this is, see my two like scraggly edges. Now I'm just going to take this clear nail polish and I'm just going to put it all over where I cut those strings. Like, don't be afraid to really, don't be afraid to really use a lot, because this is what's gonna keep it from coming apart. And with the string I'm using, you don't really see the nail polish after it dries. It kind of just blends right in. You might see it a little bit more with twine. You can try it out with twine. There's also like seal glues out there. I'll link some. This is just an easier hack, I guess, because most of us have clear nail polish at home and not a sealing glue. Okay. So see, it looks wet now, but once it dries, no one will be the wiser. Okay. So I'm gonna let this dry and then we're going to finish it. So it's not completely dry yet, but it's enough that I'm gonna start working on finishing this. So I'm actually going to put a bead on each end of my bracelet. The string I have works best with beads with like wider holes in the middle. So keep that in mind when you're buying beads and string. You want to make sure that the string fits in the hole. So now I'm just double knotting the end so the bead doesn't fall off. Okay, do the other end. Alright, there we go. So I've got my two ends, and now that's pretty much done, right? So now we just have to make the slip knot, what's it called? The sliding knot. So that's where our 1.5 foot string comes into play. So now you just need to put your bracelet like this, so you've got your two end strings meeting, and then we're gonna put this string under, again about halfway, and you're doing just the square knot again. We're just gonna do 2 or 3 of them, and that's what keeps your bracelet together, and that's what makes it adjustable. So now you're just gonna take your left string and put it over, and then you're gonna take the right string and put it over like that, right? And then you're going to hold it up. Sorry, I know this is a little difficult to see. Then you put the string through. And pull tight. Okay, just like that. So that's our first one. You don't really have to worry about knotting it too tight because it's going to be adjustable. I've knotted it pretty tight and it still worked just fine. Okay. Okay, now the right side, so right string, left string over it, and then this one under and through. There we go. So that's one square knot. Now we're gonna do 2 more. So here's the left side. Now the right side. And then one more to make sure it's nice and secure. So remember, you're just alternating sides. If you don't alternate sides, then it's going to start twisting, because that is actually a spiral knot. So if it starts twisting, you're doing something wrong. Okay, so here is our sliding knot. See? It works just like that. So now we have to do the same thing with sealing the sides. So I'm just going to cut each end. Okay. Be really careful with that, and then I'm gonna take my clear nail polish again and just put it all over where the ends are. Try not to get it on the other strings, because remember, this is a sliding knot, it needs to be able to slide. So after I'm done putting this nail polish on, I'm just going to slide it around a few times to make sure it doesn't stick. That should do it. So now I'm just gonna let this dry, and then that's it. Here is our macrame bracelet.